This week we are in the cellar to discuss pairing wine for occasions of love. That would include upcoming Valentine's Day, weddings, and showers, engagement parties. To do that, we are going back into the cellar with Chris Cribb, who is the Managing Director of Marquee Selections. And Chris, thank you for inviting us back into this beautiful cellar here at the American Restaurant.
Sure, glad to be here with you, Bonnie.
Okay, love.
Yes.
I mean, wine and chocolate, most of these things go with romantic occasions.
Absolutely.
All right, so.
Wine has been brought to man for special occasions in a lot of ways.
Yes, it has. And many of our special occasions include wine.
They do.
So let's talk about chocolate, because you want to win a girl's heart. Chocolate will probably be a part of that effort.
Sure.
What wines do you have with chocolate?
Well, I'd like to go ahead and say, first off, there's a number of different small boutique chocolatiers that make some great little gifts. So if you're thinking of trying to come up with a novel little basket for your partner for Valentine's Day, you go ahead and you buy your box of chocolates, and I like to find the ones that have a few different flavors in them.
And that makes it probably a little more challenging, because we're seeing chocolate infused with peppers, chili peppers, which is amazing.
Yes.
With lime, with other fruit flavors, as well as the traditional nuts.
On the chocolate, I would go with red wine.
Okay.
I would say that you're probably safer to try to go into either a red wine that is a little drier,
because of the sweet of the
chocolate, or to go all the way to a sweet wine if you get into the port category.
Okay.
So there's fortified red wines in that category. But a couple of them that I like in my portfolio, we do a deep red wine called Silver Wings. I think we might have had it at another show.
We've been in the cellar with Silver Wings before.
Yeah, it's a nice deep red wine, so it compares to something that's got like a little nut in it, like some almond, chocolate covered almond, something like that.
You're making me hungry.
The wine that I chose here, this is our Shiraz Cabernet. So it's by the same person.
Okay.
So this is the Organic Shiraz Cabernet, and specifically on a chocolate stage, I think this is kind of the type of thing that would go with a nice chocolate covered caramel, or maybe a chocolate with a little sea salt in it.
Or a chocolate with a caramel with sea salt.
Yeah, all three,
All three of those.
Maybe even some pralines, that's got a little bit of that toffee flavor. What I find with that coffee, or that toffee flavor, that caramelized flavor, with the red wine and the right pairing, it'll bring that out of the wine. And there's nothing better than just a nice glass to sit and sip and taste and check the difference between them.
If I were to generalize, would you say the darker the chocolate, the more it wants red, or is that not?
Yeah, no,
would you?
Really,
Okay.
if you think from milk chocolate all the way over to a dark, deep ganache, you're going to go kind of the same way with your wine. So you go with the milk chocolate more like a Pinot Noir or a light Merlot, with the stuff that's kind of a combination between the two. Something that's full-on dark chocolate might be with the Cabernet.
This is serious.
Yeah.
Yes, serious. Okay.
And then I think the way you split it apart as well is, what else you're putting with it. If you're putting coconut with it, that's a deep departure. So you need something a little bit different. And that's really when I try to look at, say, desserts. We do a lot of wine dinners where we want to go ahead and have a whole dessert paired with wine, and for everyone at the meal. We're going with a deep, dark chocolate ganache cake. We might go with some raspberry preserves over the top of it. Something like that. And then we'd probably go with the bigger red wine, because both of those would stand up to it.
Of course. Whereas if it were more citrus, such as a key lime tart, then you would go with a lighter wine.
If you want to try to find something that's got a little more acid to it, to kind of compare with
the sweet and the tart.
The sweet and the tart.
Okay. All right. So we're now planning many weddings,
Yes.
So there's what to drink with the cake. Champagne frequently comes to mind. Traditional wedding cakes. What wine would you pair with that wedding cake?
Well, you know, I'm kind of a traditionalist myself, so sparkling wine's probably my #1 choice. This example of this is a Vino Verde, and it's a blend of Trejadura and Albarino. And Albarino is the same grape as Albarino, which is made in Spain. So it's a light white grape. It's known for being kind of a coconutty citrus flavor. So it would be another good comparison for that light citrus meal, or even a white cake. I don't know that it would be good for the chocolate cake, but you know.
No, but that would go great with
white cake or that key lime pie, you know.
Or the key lime pie, which I'm so very.
I've been waiting to see you make one for me.
I think I'm going to have to do that because we did that over the holidays and it was devoured.
Good.
And I should tell you that the recipe comes from the executive chef. It was court at the Nelson Atkins Bar. So we've talked about the wedding cake and we've talked about Valentine's Day since we're focusing on occasions of love. But leading up to that wedding are some showers, bridal showers. I was just in the liquor store the other day, and this poor woman, so it's an afternoon, usually an afternoon event, either a luncheon or some heavy hors d'oeuvres or whatever, and she had no idea what to serve a bunch of ladies at the bridal shower. What would you have suggested to her?
Well, in those occasions, and I get that same question
I bet you do.
Several times, and I tend to go pick a simple theme, whether it's going to be one winery, one region, one area, and choose a red and white from those regions, or a red and white and a rosé, depending on, it's the summertime, I kind of add the rosé to it. But say from Argentina, we have our Staccato, which is a Malbec Cabernet blend, and the Grazioso, which is a Torrontés. So you've got a light white, easy drinking white for about anybody, and you have a red that has Cabernet, which is something that everyone knows. But it's medium bodied.
Right,
so,
it's not so strong.
So, you know, I wouldn't tell the same person, go pick the regular Chardonnay and Cabernet. That was 10 years ago.
Okay.
The new
Today,
the new pick is something a light white, and so this Vino Verde from Portugal is a good example.
would work.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I would probably pick a Portuguese red to go with it.
So that's interesting when you're entertaining, and you always want to offer at least a red and a white. It's best to do it from the same vineyard.
It's very nice.
Marquee Selections is a very unique portfolio. How did Marquee happen?
Well, we did some research starting in 2001 to figure out how to get in the wine business, and we looked at a number of small vineyards down in Australia, and we found that none of them could export to the United States by themselves. And so we brought them together under one brand, and we started the Marquee Australian wine brand there, and from there have grown it in 30-some states throughout the U.S. and different territories, adding new strategic wineries as we've grown 2003, 4, 5, through to the last 4 years, where we've added Spain, Portugal, some regions that are
Italy,
far away from where we started. Yeah.
Argentina. Did you ever know that? I mean, this is a global portfolio.
Well, you know,
it was a hope.
Yeah, we had a hope. We had a focus on trying to find unique products. And once we saw how many unique products we could have from Australia, we thought, well, you know, these other emerging regions are great places to bring new product from. And so we tried to been running the trends and being half a step ahead, so that you're right at the front line.
So I know you personally go visit these vineyards, and you talk to the winemakers. Many of them are green as well. And because these are more unique and they're newer to the American market, the value is fabulous. It really, sometimes we feel either overwhelmed or intimidated by wine, and you've been a wonderful help in making it feel accessible to us. So you taste them, you test them, and
And what we're trying to do is to make sure that you know, when you see Marquee Selections on the bottle, on the import, you can trust that that brand is a good value for the money. So that you can come back to it, whether it's trying a new one, you know, maybe you haven't tried Portuguese white wines, trying a new one, or going back to some of our classic favorites that you tried before, that you can still have a good value for any of the wines in the portfolio.
Okay, so how can we learn more about your portfolio and where to go get them?
Well, you can find me and the rest of the team at Marquee at www.marquee.com. We've got all of our links to our social media, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube there, so you can check us all out and join up.
I know we're going to come back into the cellar and talk about wine glasses, and
I think I've got a couple lessons ready to give you on some wine glasses.
Cheers.
Cheers. To your health.
To your health.